Welcome back, Leominsterites, to another episode of Representing Leominster. We're filming this one in September, and you've just got me for the 30 minutes. I'm really excited to do something a little different. Last month in August, I got to visit Ireland and Northern Ireland as a part of the American Irish State Legislators Caucus for their annual summit. Which I haven't gotten a chance to participate in before. And so we're bringing back some highlights from this trip. For those of you that remember, some really special experiences that I've gotten to have are through the State Department, visiting other countries' governments, including Morocco and Tunisia and Taiwan, and taking back what we learned and really working on building those relationships between our governments. And so really excited to highlight some of what we got to do while we were visiting Dublin and Belfast. And so I have some slides. We're going to go through them, and I will give you a little glimpse into what we got to check out. So here we go. So the American Irish State Legislators Caucus actually exists in all 50 states. This trip, they had over 20 states represented, including Massachusetts, and close to 200 legislators visiting Ireland for 2.5 days of meetings and activities. Our first day, while we arrived in Dublin, we spent our first day up in Northern Ireland and took off in the 2-hour drive up to Belfast. And our first stop was the Northern Ireland Assembly at Stormont. We got a chance to meet with Speaker Edwin Poots and 3 representatives from different political parties. If you're not familiar with the Northern Ireland Assembly, it's a unicameral government with 90 elected representatives. The Parliament at Stormont was established in 1921 when the government of Northern Ireland bought this 100-acre estate for £21,000. It was a really lively discussion, and we got a chance to see where their government discussions happen. It's a really beautiful space, and they're grappling with a lot of really tough questions about kind of the role of Northern Ireland. There's parties represented that really want unification with Ireland. There are groups that really want to stay a part of the United Kingdom. This was further complicated by the Brexit decision. And so now more than ever, these discussions are happening about kind of what is the path forward for Northern Ireland. And we were really grateful that they were willing to have such a lively and honest conversation with us about kind of the public sentiment of this and what does the role of immigration play in these discussions. From there, we took a tour of the Titanic Museum. The Titanic Belfast opened in 2012. As you can see, the museum is beautiful. It's 126 feet high. It's the same as the Titanic's hull, and it's built on the shipyard that built the Titanic and its sister ships. It was really a testament to Northern Ireland's role in the shipbuilding industry, but also the tragedy that befell everyone on the Titanic. It was a really, really well done museum. I learned so much more than I had known about the history of the Titanic, the building of the Titanic, and the tragedy of the Titanic. But Belfast is really trying to build up this part of their community and really talk about the history and the interconnection that its shipyard has had with the rest of the world. We also got a chance to go to Belfast City Hall and have a briefing with educational and business leaders. We really heard an emphasis on the importance of education, the importance of sending students to other countries to really round out their education, experience other cultures and other histories, and what the role of Northern Ireland is for the UK and the connection to Ireland and the European Union, and just how important that global economy is, and how how changes that happen in any country, including the United States, really can impact their work and the way that they're growing their own economy. And we wrapped up our time in Belfast with a Peace Walls guided tour with an activist who participated in the hunger strikes. It was really powerful to spend some time with him, to hear his story, to see the separation barriers that continue to separate the predominantly Irish Republican and British Loyalist neighborhoods. Often we hear this portrayed as Catholic neighborhoods versus Protestant neighborhoods. These are still locked nightly. You can still access if you miss that curfew. You have to drive about a mile around. But definitely post-Brexit, there has been a resurgence, and you can visibly see the different neighborhoods in terms of the pro-United Kingdom loyalists and the pro-Irish Republican communities. And it was really helpful, and we can't wait to kind of go back and explore a little bit more of this. We just really got a 15-minute visit with one of their activists. On our second day, we stayed in Dublin. We kicked off with a visit to the Google headquarters in Dublin. They had these beautiful, beautiful sightlines of the entire city. And we got a chance to learn from educational leaders and business leaders, again, about the role that Ireland has really carved out as a country, with the access point to both the European Union and the United Kingdom, the importance for a lot of American companies that Ireland speaks English, so that there is less of a barrier and more of an access into the European Union. I learned, and I should have known this, that Ireland has the most educated workforce in the world per capita. There's a huge emphasis on the role of public higher education. As someone who is the first in my family to go to college and believes deeply in bringing down the cost and increasing access to public higher education, it was really wonderful to hear this emphasis and just really how it's paying off in terms of the growth of their economy. And some tough conversations. We were there while the tariff discussions were ongoing, and the tariffs hadn't quite been set for Europe. And so more than anything, we heard a desire for certainty, for businesses to kind of know what those costs are going to be able to make sure that they can continue to grow their workforce and know that they're able to continue to do trade with the U.S. If you didn't know, Ireland is the 6th largest trading partner of the United States, and it's closing in on the 5th. So these discussions, often happening at the federal level, really come down to the state level as well, with so many Massachusetts-based companies also having their international headquarters in Ireland. And then we were briefed by the Department of Foreign Affairs at Ivy House. This was a really interesting conversation, really focused on immigration and tourism and the work that Ireland is doing to increase their tourism to the U.S. A part of this trip that we did not partake in is an American football game. So day 3 is an American football game. The states that were most represented had their teams playing this year, and the amount of boost to the Irish economy was really significant, and something that they are hoping to continue to do. For so many folks in Massachusetts, my family included, my husband Peter's family included, we have Irish heritage, and it was really lovely to hear the government thinking about how are they connecting to Irish Americans, how are they building that heritage, how are they helping us understand more of our family's history, and a desire for tourism and travelers to come to Ireland, and even if they don't have Irish heritage, that there was a resounding, you're Irish while you're with us, you're welcome, we want you to come and visit, and that was really, really incredible. We got a chance to have a more thoughtful conversation of also kind of what are those opportunities in Massachusetts to continue this connection. And then we got a chance to go to the Irish Parliament. It's really wonderful to see. The picture on your left is the Parliament. There's 174 members representing 20 to 30,000 people. If you think about it, our state house, our representation is about 45,000 people. So that was really eye-opening for me. And they continue to add seats as their population grows, different from what happens in the Massachusetts state legislature, where our representation and our constituency kind of grows as the Massachusetts population grows. Their Senate on the right has 60 seats. These are not directly elected representatives, but are picked from a variety of representations and don't have quite the same power and influence as their parliament. And we wrapped up our formal part of the visit at a reception of City Hall celebrating the 250th anniversary of the start of the American War of Independence. We got a chance to speak with Bertie Ahern, who was one of the lead negotiators of the peace agreement. It's really incredible to get to hear a little bit of his perspective, because he has been involved in the Irish government for so long, to be able to share kind of what is this trajectory going forward. There was also some rumor of whether or not he was going to run for president. This is a much different election cycle than I am used to. Apparently their elections are quite short. They happen over a little short period of time, and they're limited in time in terms of the political activity that they're able to do in terms of going door to door. That is the bulk of what they're doing, but it happens over a very, very short period of time. Kind of refreshing compared to what we are used to, where our elections kind of seem to never stop these days. And then we had the opportunity to stay in Dublin for 2 more days. And it was really great for Peter and I to get to experience more. Top of the list for anyone who had been to Dublin was for us to go see the Kilmainham jail. It is, if you haven't been there before, the only tip I have is that you've got to get your tickets super early. They open up in batches online, and we made sure that we were trying to get our tickets the day that it opened up. Most folks will know this jail for the imprisonment and killing of leaders from the 1916 Easter Uprising. This jail tour really focused on the history going all the way back to 1796 and the evolution of kind of the different waves of use of this facility. It was really powerful, really highly recommend checking it out if you get a chance to go. I think it's a really important history. For some of the folks that we were traveling with from the Massachusetts state legislature, some of them have family members who were imprisoned here and have been able to hear those stories firsthand, thinking about the 1916 Easter Uprising. For so many of our community members, those can be their grandparents that were involved in the Irish fight for their independence. And then, as someone who is a big fan of a stout beer, we had to check out the Guinness Brewery tour. The Guinness Storehouse was in operation from 1902 to 1988 as a fermentation plant, and then they turned it into this really beautiful museum and tour to get more of a history of the Guinness Brewery. They've been brewing at this location for over 250 years. It was a really, really great highlight of our time to learn more about the history and the role and the evolution of Guinness, like kind of across the world, as a very popular beverage. We also took some stops along the way to Dublin Castle. It was a really beautiful stop to see some more of the history, see some beautiful artwork, and learn as much as we could as we were visiting. And a highlight for Peter was the Dublinia Viking Museum, which was connected also to the Christchurch Cathedral. We learned a lot about kind of the early history of the region, and it was a really interesting and interactive museum that for some of my friends who have gotten a chance to live in Ireland, they hadn't even known that there was a Viking museum so close to where they lived. So another highlight. And many of you may have seen St. Patrick's Cathedral. We got a chance to stop by. Really, we had beautiful weather most of the time in Ireland. We were told we were really spoiled with some sunny, beautiful days. We got caught in a couple of downpours, which kind of was what we were much more prepared for. And one of the other big highlights, we got a chance to go to the Irish Immigration Museum twice. So we got to tour the museum. We also snagged a genealogical visit with some of their experts, and they showed us some really cool tools to get a better deep dive into our family's history. Peter's great-grandmother immigrated here by herself, and we were really trying to parse through what were some family myths that we thought were truths. We found out maybe some of the story had evolved over time, but we were able to really pinpoint the 3 counties that his family mostly immigrated from, County Mayo, County Galway, County Meath. My family's from County Westmeath. And so we're really excited and grateful for the opportunity to learn some more genealogical tools where you could even look at their census data to find out kind of the wealth of the family, the kind of house that they had. Was it a stone-built house? Was it more of a clay-built house? How many cows did they have at their home? And to be able to match up the families to see that they lived in the same kind of block of property, so that it was really likely that they ended up meeting because they were neighbors and getting married, and to be able to validate some of that family history. And my favorite part of every trip to visit a new country is the food, the drinks, the art, the culture. And so for those who don't know, I'm vegan, so sometimes it can be hard for me when I'm traveling to find good food, things to partake in. I even scored a Biscoff donut that was vegan, so that was a big highlight on my first afternoon walking around and spotting a donut shop that I knew was vegan. There's some really amazing bars that we were encouraged to check out that have some really great history that have been operating there for hundreds of years. Our very first welcoming reception was at the Jameson Distillery, which was really beautiful to get to check out and learn a little bit more of that history. So that's a little bit of our trip. If folks have any more questions or want to learn more about the American Irish State Legislators Caucus and some of the other work that we're doing to connect with our heritage and our ancestral history, we'd love to connect with folks. But since I've got you, there's a few more things that we just really want to highlight that we've been hearing from constituents pretty regularly, multiple times a day, about issues with unemployment benefits. If you are having issues with your unemployment benefits, if you haven't gotten your unemployment benefits and it's even been 2 weeks and you haven't seen them come through, please call us. You can reach our Leominster office at 978-227-5278. We want to hear from you early. We're hearing from a lot of folks who have been waiting since the summer. Some have been waiting for 11, 12, 18 weeks. We know that you cannot afford to wait that long. So if you are dealing with issues with your unemployment, if you know anyone who's dealing with issues with their unemployment, please send them our way. If they don't happen to be a Leominster resident, but it's a loved one or a friend, you are welcome to send them our way, and we're happy to make a warm connection with their state representative or their state senator. For those who've been following the Healthy Incentives Program, back in December, the benefits were decreased. This is the supplement that you get on your SNAP benefits. So in addition to getting your regular food assistance, the Healthy Incentives Program funds can be used at local farms and farmers markets for fresh produce. Those benefits have increased as of September 1st, and we just want to make sure that all SNAP recipients are using their HIP benefits. There are local farms that you can use them on site. The Leominster Farmers Market and Growing Places even does a delivery program for folks to make sure that you're taking advantage of that. We know that grocery bills continue to be really high. Being able to offset some of this fresh produce, you're not only getting access to healthy and local foods, but you're also helping our local farms make sure that they're able to sustain through the season. And then the only other preview that's coming up, Mox Fuel Assistance online portal opens on October 1st. Applications are processed through November 1st through April 30th. Please, if you've gotten fuel assistance in the past, you should be getting your recertification paperwork. You may have already gotten it. If you have any trouble, or if you're looking to apply for it for the first time, please try to check it out. We always highlight that the income levels are quite high for the fuel assistance program. For a one-person household, that's more than $49,000 a year. For a two-person household, north of $60,000 a year. For a four-person household, that's more than $90,000 a year. So for a lot of Leominster families, they might not realize that they qualify for fuel assistance. Not only will that help you offset your home heating costs over the winter, but it also qualifies you for a discount rate at National Grid. So if you have any questions, you can connect with Mock at 978-342-4520. If you need any help with that initial application, we're always happy to help you. So just give us a call and we're happy to set up an appointment in our office. So that's the end of my slide deck. Thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you next month. We're working on what I hope will be another special episode, but I don't want to confirm it until we know for sure. But thank you all. If you need to get in touch with us for any issues with any state level agencies, give us a call at 978-227-5278. Thanks so much.